Do this with me.
2, 3. Boom, boom, boom.
Give me a little guitar riff. Boom. Sound check. Welcome, everybody. Episode 2, season 2, but nobody cares what episode it is, really.
It's really episode 3.
Oh, episode 3. Thank you for the correction, Karen.
Swamp Daddy.
And welcome. Here we are again in the Sound Check Studios in West Palm Beach, Florida. Proud to say, because of this show and the success of this show, me and Keith Ridenour are now in the Millionaires Club. Woo! We have stepped up our game, and the result has been amazing, fantastic.
Amazing. Look at that. Look at that.
And we're happy. I just want to say thank you so much, everybody.
Hey, man.
By the way, I want to thank our last few guests we've had in this season 2. Been fantastic, great responses. Want to thank everybody for viewing and subscribing. Really important that you get a chance to subscribe if you can.
Check
Keith,
it out.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. You ready to rock today?
I'm ready to go. As you can see, I have my shirt on that I had to change 9 times because you knuckleheads critiquing. And Jason said my knees were shiny.
Yeah.
So I have lotioned up my knees.
I don't think he wanted them shinier. I think he wanted you to dim them down.
You know what? Jason said it.
Dim that shit down.
Personally, I think he kind of dug it.
Okay.
Jason is here with us.
Jason's here, and we have a great young artist on with us today, Dani Sinatra. And she is multi-talented, does songwriting, producing, engineering, videos. She does it all. We're just meeting Dani today for the first time. You're going to learn all about her, but definitely stick with us. Great young new artist and producer. So stick around.
Got to keep my phone on because she's calls
in the gate.
Calls in through security. Because security here is very tight at the studios. We've had some people have tried to climb walls and jump fences.
Yeah, we found somebody on the roof one time.
Yes, but in this case, we're going to wait for her call, so I'm keep the phone on.
Okay.
I got a couple things I'd like to discuss with you and share with some of our fans and friends.
Let's do it. This ought to be good.
This Sam Ash thing. When you think of Sam Ash music, how far, like in your travels, can you remember? Is it when you were growing up? Is it 5 years, 10 years, 20? Is it decades? When is around Sam Ash started to ring a bell?
When I moved to Nashville in 2003, I actually worked at Sam Ash up in the Goodlettsville area for about 3 months. That's really when I started visiting Sam Ash, 2003.
So that's when you were
21 years
to
ago.
them, kind of. Everyone has heard by now that they're going out of business.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of them maybe selling to another entity or getting more money, borrowing more money, whatever it might be, I'm guessing it has a lot to do with competition, obviously, like any other business, and or the internet.
I mean, it's probably just more cost effective for them to shut it down totally. Liquidators come in, they pay off as much debt as they can. I really don't know. But as far as competition on the internet, I very rarely go to a music store. Right. I mean, I don't know about you. I go in to play guitars sometimes, but other than that, majority of the time I buy stuff online. It's just faster, cheaper, and you get what you want. It's delivered the next day, whether you're getting it from Sweetwater or Amazon or wherever. Vintage King.
Did you go by there by any chance in the last few weeks since you've heard they were liquidating? Did you get a chance to go in any of those?
No, because what I heard was, I remember when this happened with Mars.
Right.
When the liquidators get the store, from what I understand, I heard this firsthand. To you and me, they may put a price on something that looks like a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they actually raise the price and then discount it back down and make it look like a good deal, when at the end of the day, it's not really a better deal. I talked to someone about going in and looking at a tailor. And basically everybody said, don't
Taylor?
even bother. Yeah. Don't even bother. Because once the liquidators get it, you know, they're not giving anything away. They're not discounting anything at that point. Their whole objective, from what I understand, is just to get every dime they can before they shut that door.
So I'm wondering if the best time to go is when they're about done, when they're at the end of their rope.
Well, it's like Catch-22 when they're about done. What's really left?
Right. Got it. Yeah, my guitar player went in there a month ago, said he really didn't see much of anything as far as cost effective.
Yeah.
That made real sense.
Right.
I mean, not only Sweetwater, Amazon. Oh my God, there's got to be thousands of different sites where you can get used instruments. And because of the economy, I'm guessing some of them want to practically give it away. Hence, Red's drum kit in certain situations. You know, DWs, Marshalls, Les Pauls. I mean, they're dropping down these costs because they need the money.
I just sold a Les Paul a couple weeks ago. It wasn't anything fancy. It was just a Les Paul I had for playing slide. When we had our Southern rock thing. Remember that gold top Les Paul I bought? I was just going to play slide. I never really used it, so I sold it to get something else. But yeah, it's really, once you post something, if you're really ready to deal, chances are you're gonna.
How about I don't know if you heard anything, but what about Guitar Center? Are they strong? Is Guitar Center going to keep rolling, or do you think the same thing eventually may happen?
I think, isn't Guitar Center publicly owned? Didn't they go public?
I think they're public.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to close anytime soon.
They're publicly owned. In other words, stockholders own it.
Sam Ash was family owned.
Okay, so there you go. So Guitar Center will stay intact. I get good energy when I go into Guitar Center. It's always, you know, they don't shove it down my throat. They don't follow me around. The sharks don't follow me around. You get to, and they have some decent pricing. So I've had some good experiences over there. I did some business, like all my wireless units there, drum stuff, you know, some pro audio stuff. They were only very knowledgeable. And once again, it's sad to see some of these musicians, these salespeople that have been there for years. Teachers, you know, the teachers, or all the kids that go in there and get lessons of sorts, you know. So all those teachers are now looking for jobs, as well as those salespeople, and hopefully, you know, they'll all find jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, what else do you have going on? How's your
Broken Roads? It's going good. Our first gig is this Friday night at Dick's Last Resort in Fort Lauderdale Beach, so we're looking forward to that. And then we've got a July 3rd and 4th at the casino, which we're looking forward to that. So yeah, it's about to take off.
Good. All right. Let's see what I had going. I just did my third or fourth birthday bash. And it was
another one.
Listen, man, when you turn my age, when it turns a decade, you're more than welcome to have one or two more parties. Don't be jealous.
You started posting, it's my birthday, 4 days before the birthday. I think you had your first party.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, it's been very lucrative. Thank you. And it's all paid off in tenfold. So yes, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And thank you for letting everybody know that I did that. And remember this. There's a reason I do that. It's not just for the pat on the back or the wonderful gifts that I received. It's also for the business of the venues that I'm doing. And it turned out very well, thank you. The Sharkies thing did great. And then we did the Cafe 27 thing with the Allman Brothers tribute band with Mr. Nice Guy and Southern Blood, which was a huge success, even though it rained. And when I tell you, what'd you say? You wanted to hear about my experience? Okay, I'll share it with you.
Just set the alarm, Jason.
The short version. We played, everything went great. Hour and 45 minutes of Allman Brothers. Packed. Soon as Mr. Nice Guy started, the next band, when I tell you the rain came down, dude, everything went sideways. I thought the whole entire roof was going to come down. Some kind of like little mini tornado blew through there. Insanity. Rain everywhere. The water was this high. Anyway, the band played right through it. And Southern Blood played, and it was a good time. So that was June 22. So that was, once this airs, it'd be a while back. But yeah, so it was a good birthday celebration. And I had a lot of my good friends there, so it was a good time.
Do you feel your age?
Do I feel my age? Well, luckily I don't have any illnesses or sicknesses, so yeah, that helps. I haven't been to the hospital, and my checkups are all gone well, and I feel pretty strong. And so things are going pretty good. Mentally, I feel it.
Yeah.
Mentally, That's a hard part. Mental health is really important. So I try to keep my head right. My kids help me do that. And watching Keith's foot wiggle for the last 8 minutes or 10 minutes also keeps me the mental health.
It's like a metronome. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's the timing that you keep.
I think
I'm going to struggle in the studio, bro.
Well, I believe in tempo change.
Because it did this at first, right? Like that. And then I saw it do this.
I think I'm at 80 BPM right now. Quarter notes at 80 BPM.
Jason Sedoui.
Good to see you, buddy.
How about Jason?
He is a king.
So you want to ask him or should I ask him?
Ask him.
How's business going?
Business, it's going all right. It's the off season, so things have slowed down. I'm steadily booked on the weekends, but all the weekday shows have kind of dried up for now.
What shows have you done? What's the last couple weekends? Anything good?
No, nothing spectacular. During the summer we get like a lot of dance competitions and like dance showcases, rather. Like we just had a big one at the Parker, this studio called Ignite down in Miami. They did like a big 3.5-hour showcase with like 200 dancers coming on, doing different routines, doing stuff like that. I mean, it was a good day's work, but.
What about musicals? You have musicals going there at all? Not really.
No, like a Phantom of the Opera or
anything
Hamilton.
Like that. What about any bands? Any bands at all in the last 2, 3, 4 weeks?
In the last 2 or 3 weeks, no bands.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's super slow.
It's really summer.
It's super slow.
When will it pick up again?
It'll
October,
start,
November?
Yeah, about the middle of September. By October, it'll be full force.
All right, cool. So that's about it on my end. I don't really have a lot of exciting things going on right now. The podcast is doing really well.
This is exciting.
A lot of views. A lot of subscribers. Everybody's starting to zoom in a little bit more. Want to check your text while I talk to my fans real quick? Oh, look at your little angel on your phone. Who is that little? Is that your little?
It's Amelia.
Oh my gosh. How many, by the way, how many kids, grandkids? How many
That
grandkids?
was coming.
How many grandkids?
4 with a 5th on the way in September.
4 with a 5th? No kidding.
Just call me Grandpa.
Can't believe it. Can you believe this?
One more day.
If I told you how old he was, you wouldn't even believe it, which I won't do.
I don't
He would do it to me in a second.
You can tell him. I don't care.
All right, but I ain't going to do it to the old man.
I'll be happy to say.
All right, but 4 grandkids and 1 away. Do you have a name for the 5th one? Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a boy. It's a boy.
But they're still talking about it?
They're still talking about the name.
Is your name first or your first name or middle name in any of these children's names?
No, but
Well, you know what? That ain't right, bro. You take care of those kids more than anybody, so we will have a talk. Me and your kid will have a talk. I think what's your middle name, by the way? Your middle name?
Edwin.
Edwin. Yeah, we can fit. I like that name. Yeah. Edwin McCain.
Yeah,
I like it.
I was just going to start going by Keith Edwin. Get rid of Ridenour.
Rumor has it might not hurt. But anyway, just stick around, everybody. This is Soundcheck with Ridenour and Robinette. We're coming up with Dani Sinatra. We're really excited to have her. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you stick around. I'll be right back.
We'll see you. Let's rock.
Hey, everybody, do one of these for me, Keith.
Right now.
Welcome,
right
everybody.
Now,
Welcome
now.
to Podcast Soundcheck with Ridenour, Robinette, Jason Sedoui, and
Dani Sinatra.
Dani Sinatra. Can I get a round of applause, everybody? Dani Sinatra is everybody. Some people might be saying, who? Well, you're going to know after this because she is rocking and rolling. She's kicking ass. She's an engineer. She's a producer. She's a songwriter. She's a singer. And obviously a multi-instrumentalist.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Multi-instrumentalist. Welcome to the Soundcheck Studios. It's nice to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And where did you come from? I mean, like, where did you drive from? What area?
I came around like Coconut Creek. I'm in the Broward area.
Okay, not so
Yeah,
bad.
so
Is that
not
where
too bad.
Is that where you grew up?
Yeah, been there, born and raised.
No
Great.
kidding.
Yeah.
So you're a Florida girl.
I am.
Wow.
I definitely drive like one.
Our kids went to Coconut Creek High.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. No, I'm nearby there. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, very cool. So tell us about yourself. What are you up to?
Ooh, right now I'm in a band called Elleinad, and we just got selected to do a Battle to LA show. in August, I think August 10th, and we're battling it out against like 10 bands to see if we get flown out to Los Angeles.
Original music, all original music?
All original music.
And you're competing with other acts from this area?
Yes.
All original acts? Mm-hmm. Same kind of genre, or is it a whole bunch of different?
No, I think it's different genres.
Just everything.
Yeah, but the lineup is super cool, like super talented musicians, amazing singers.
And who sponsors the whole thing?
So that's Stage Mom Podcast.
Stage Mom
Yeah,
Podcast.
she puts together great shows.
That's great.
I'm excited.
Stage Mom Podcast puts together the shows.
Yeah.
Is it one person? Is it a couple moms?
No, it's just one.
No kidding.
No, she does it all herself. She does the podcast all herself. It's so cool.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So how does she pick all the bands that are, going in?
So for that one, we had to like submit an application and be like, okay, this is our band. This is what we do. And then we had to show like a song that would like represent what we'd bring. So I sent like the newest song we had.
Gotcha. So it's not like you went somewhere and 10 bands performed. And out of that performance, they picked one or two.
So they're going to do that. First, it was like a bunch of bands submitted and did like comment their name and everything. And then we got selected to actually do the show.
And how many bands got selected at the end? 10, you said?
10 for this one.
10 bands. So now 10 bands are going to show up in one spot. They're all going to play a couple songs.
Yeah.
And then they have judges.
Mm-hmm.
And when's that going to be? Do you know yet?
I think August 10th.
Okay.
At Propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my neighborhood.
That's right.
It's right down the street.
That's right.
You should come.
It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever been downtown? Have you ever been downtown? You should go down there. Lake Worth, Lake Avenue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's 4 or 5 venues there of live music. But yeah, Propaganda's been around a while, man. I went in there a couple times. You ever been to Propaganda?
Long time ago. Yeah.
It can be frightening in there, man.
Like
you like
my first metal gig.
hardcore, smash mouth, metal, emo, fast, kick-ass. And it's very raw. It's concrete floors, concrete walls.
Mosh
it's got a
pit and
small
all that?
bar, and they'll kick your ass in there.
Have you ever? You've played there, then? Obviously.
Oh yeah.
So have you ever seen like crazy shit going on where people get slammed? I mean, because
all of
That's
like
what
the
it is,
hardcore shows are there. I saw Bad Omens there right before they blew up. So there was just like 100 people in there, and now they're playing for like thousands.
It's a very small bar. You'd
Yeah.
get a kick out of it.
yeah.
It's kind of like a mini treehouse, kind of. They got a pretty decent sized stage in there, but it's kind of eerie. It's like so dark in there.
It's dark, yeah, and they got like lights.
It's fucking crazy, man.
It's like a horror house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just,
And like
no
the bar's
offense,
in the
but
middle, like a triangle. It's all odd.
It's weird. So the people know the name of the band. You get say it slower and spell it for me. What is it?
So it's Elleinad, which is just Danielle spelled backwards.
Look at that.
You didn't know that.
Yep.
I did. I told you.
Oh, you
Jay knows
Danielle
everything.
backwards.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to see the name. Now,
Elleinad.
are you guys out there like Instagram?
Yes.
Where can they see it and hear it?
Everywhere. So we're on
Everywhere.
Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know how to use Facebook, so we don't have a Facebook yet, but we're working on it.
And what kind of music would you compare it to? Is it?
It's like dark pop metalcore. So it's like
what would be an example?
it's like if Halsey or Billie Eilish had a metalcore band, pretty much. So we like
a heavy kind of
like a heavy pop music. It's
No
interesting.
kidding.
Yeah, so like weird synths and like 808s with like heavy breakdown.
and heavy guitars.
Yeah.
Did you get
And
into
like
that?
drop D stuff.
Yeah, we're in like drop G,
That's badass.
I think.
Drop G.
Yeah, the last guitar player played a drop G.
See, dude,
I'm trying to think. I'm
Dude,
trying to
this is
vision.
why.
Yeah.
This is why we have her on this show. This is a perfect example of dark.
I want to get the
Metal.
guitar and figure out
Yeah.
drop G.
Yeah.
See, dude, just when you
That's
think
cool.
we've
Noise.
learned everything, we have not learned anything.
That's very cool. Very cool.
I want to hear it, man.
Yeah.
I did hear some, I guess, a taste of it on the bio that he sent me, so I have an idea of where you're at.
Yeah.
So what is the plan? So you guys write songs together. How many players in the band, or do you have a?
So how it kind of works is like I write everything and then I kind of teach it to them and then they add their own little like spice to it.
Gotcha.
And I
Oh,
bring them
shit.
in. So I bring them like I use Logic for my production work, so I write everything out and then I'll just send them the file. I'm like, record guitar or record drums.
So you're not actually there when they do it because they've all got home studios?
Yeah, and we'll do like Discord. So I'll meet on like Discord or Zoom and be like, okay, this is my ideas, and then do what you want with that.
And how does that work?
Because yeah,
I know that can be tough sometimes.
It's great. I mean, once you
I'll
round
let you
them
go
up.
first, then I'll go, okay?
Yeah, I mean, right now I also work in like the production side, so I'm kind of used to dealing with like clients and everything and working with them, so I kind of use that knowledge on my bandmates.
Right.
So that's how I can tell them like, hey, this is what I want you to play, and then after that you can put whatever you want.
Right. That's a safe way to do it for sure. It's like we've talked about before when you have a full band and everybody in the band shows up for the mix.
Oh.
Nightmare.
Lord, no.
Nightmare.
I don't let them. I'm like, you just get your tracks.
Yeah. But also like that, it's like if you're doing a song, you've written and produced the whole song, a lot of times some people will just show up at rehearsal, here's your parts, in a nice way. Just learn them, and if you're going to enhance them.
Yeah.
But you're kind of taking a step further if I'm following you, and you're actually letting them learn your parts, but also change them if they want to.
Yeah. I like to kind of keep it open-minded a little bit, just because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't let them like have creativity.
Absolutely. It's a team.
Exactly. It's like a team effort.
It's a team. No,
and I respect them a lot too.
Right.
So like I love their input, and they're multi like musicians too. So like they know how to play like piano and add different string parts and stuff. So they have good input.
Where'd you find these?
So Kyle, he's our bass player. He just started. We work together at Broward Center. We're both event technicians. So one day he was like, "Yeah, I play bass." I'm like, "I'm looking for a bass player."
That worked out.
And I just kind of cornered him, and I was like, "Good luck." And then I have Gunnar right now playing drums for me, and I've known him way back in the music scene, but he's so talented. Like you just send him the music, and like he could just show up for the show and like know it by heart, and like be on the click track, like human metronome. It's a good guy.
Wow, you got lucky.
Yeah, real lucky, because it's hard to find people that totally believe in what you're writing and are cool with playing it, but you're giving them the opportunity to also do your idea but enhance it. So that makes them feel part of it.
Right, right. Because it is a very kind of like, okay, it's like the artist with a backing band, but I also want them to know that like they're included in the journey.
That's definitely cool. It's a little different than if you show up and you're the writer and you've got 5 musicians that don't know each other.
Oh, good Lord!
And you're gonna get you basically do a guitar vocal or a piano vocal of the song, and now you're expecting them to all play what they want. That is like
that's scary. No, I would not do that.
That's bad. I've done it. I worked with an artist once. She came in. I got all great. Everybody was a great player.
Yeah.
Okay. She paid them all to come in and play. We played them a rough of the song. They learned it. Everybody just did what they thought the song needed, though.
Yeah,
and
there's gotta be
unfortunately, here's what happened. So we recorded all the stuff. Then her and I kept working on the song. As the song evolved, guess what? That guitar part don't work anymore. So how do you fix it? Call the guy back and pay him another $100?
Oh.
That keyboard part is definitely the wrong sound now. What do? Call the guy back? You got to pay him another $100 to come in. So that's the only time I think where it gets a little crazy. You know, like you have to be really specific. I would anyway. If I said, okay, here's what I want you to do on the guitar. You're doing all power chords. You're doing eighth notes, the bass line. You're going to wait. You're going to come in on the. You got to really direct versus just going like what you're able to do and say, here's my idea. Now you guys just take it and enhance it.
Yeah, for our folks that are tuning in and listening, the different people that we have on here have different approaches of writing music. Then there's tons of artists that are out there tons of them that receive the music from other sources. They purchase those songs. The songs are already written. So it's kind of cool because us old school musicians, we get into a room, we have an idea, we create in this room, in this environment. I have a melody, he has a riff. Yeah. I hear a melody. Okay, you play off that, try that, try. But it's pretty cool when you've already kind of put the pieces together. This is what I have. This is my music. Everybody, you want to mess with it a little bit? but flavor it up, color it up a little bit. But there's the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's another approach. Not everybody does that. A lot of the biggest artists in the world get their songs from other entities. They don't sit on a couch or sit in a room and strum a chord and sing a melody. They purchase it. So it's pretty cool that you're already at your age, which is
22.
22 years old. I didn't want to say anything. 22 years old and you're already doing it. But you've already been doing this.
When did you start? When did you start?
When did I start? So when I was like in pre-K, my mom was like, "You're doing music lessons." And I was like, "Okay." So I learned piano, and then I moved up to guitar, and then ukulele, and then I did flute in like middle school, and just kept like adding more instruments to it. So my mom loves music. She came from like a musical background.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, let's keep you in this area, because that was kind of more of my forte than like sports, where my sister was more sports.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. So I did that. Then she took me to Guitar Center and she's like, let's put you in a rock band. That'd be so cool. And I was like, okay. And that's when I had to learn how to play bass. And they let us learn like all the instruments, a little bit of drums.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you kind of had to learn how to like write music and like learn music really quickly. And that evolved into what Jay was talking about before we started Sunset Rising.
Okay.
So that was kind of built from Guitar Center. That band was around for a while. We did a lot of bar gigs. So we'd have to learn like 3 hours worth of music and then just go and play it at bars.
Mm-hmm.
And we started slowly like turning it into like original music. And it just didn't work out, that band. And it formed into a metal band.
Really?
So we Sunset Rising kind of like feathered out. Like we started losing musicians. So when we lost our guitar player, I had to learn rhythm guitar to like kind of keep the band going. And then when we lost our bass player, I had someone else take over guitar, and then I started playing bass. And that's when that became one of my main instruments.
Okay.
And then finally, I was like, okay, I'm just going to be a bass player. Maybe like this, we were kind of like a rock and roll band, but it wasn't really going anywhere. And we're like, let's turn this metal. And we brought in like a screamer, and it changed the whole game. We changed the name into Calopsia's Core.
Bring in a screamer, not a singer.
No, a screamer.
Hell yeah.
And then they're like, Dani, you need to learn a Slipknot song. This is me, like little like acoustic pop girl, like doesn't know metal. And they're like, drop A, let's do this. And I'm like, good Lord. So that became like, I loved bass.
So how old were you when all that was going on
good
then?
Lord. I was like, probably like 17 or 18 at that time. Sunset Rising, I was like 15, 16. 17, 18, Calopsia.
So if you were getting bar gigs, were the parents going with you then?
Yeah. And I had to wear a lot of makeup and dress a certain way, so I looked of age a little bit.
Right.
At least 18.
Right.
But yeah, no, my parents were always there. When we started doing the Calopsia gigs, I mean, we were able to get into the bars because we were all like 18 and stuff. But yeah, it was super cool. That became my main instrument, was bass. And then I would sing in the background. Because like I just was like, I like not being in like the front. And then I started working on my own music and releasing it through Calopsia. And then I was like, maybe this isn't for Calopsia. Let me try this like on my own. And then they actually helped me like do like the beginning shows and everything. They would come in and be like, all right, we'll play guitar.
Your own
yeah, they'd help
songs?
me perform my own songs. And first it started as Dani Sinatra. And I'm like, nah, we need like a stage name. So I was like, nobody calls me Danielle. So let's flip it and call it Elleinad.
That's a great idea.
It's funny how she just says, well, we needed a bass player, so I picked up bass. And then we needed a guitar player, so I just picked up guitar. It doesn't necessarily work that way. She's not telling you the other side of the coin.
Oh,
she didn't just
lots
pick
of
it up and go.
Lots of practice.
Practice.
Yes.
And another thing is that she said, which you don't hear too often, my mom says, maybe she's getting a rock band. Oh, okay. Well, I'm guessing you must have enjoyed rock music. She didn't just tell you to do it, and you did it.
Oh,
you
no,
must have
she
did it
did.
because she saw your heart in it. Didn't you want to do it?
Oh,
Didn't you go
did.
see other bands and go, holy shit, that's me. That's what I want to do.
So I wasn't in the rock genre that much when she put me in a rock
what about
band.
music?
Oh, no, yes, of course.
Okay, so
I
what
love
was
music.
what was your influences when you were, let's say, 15, 16, 17, 18? What were some of the artists that you would listen to or watch or be influenced by that got you going?
Oh, so when I was younger, it was definitely like Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, Ed Sheeran, like people that like use many different like acoustic instruments to like perform, and they were powerhouses too.
Right.
As I started evolving into like the rock genre, like my dad had a heavy influence in like what I listened to. Like I listened to like Buck Cherry and like all like, you know, dad rock music and stuff. You know?
80s hair band kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Metal.
And then when Calopsia became a thing, now they're like, okay, you listen to hardcore music now. So it was like Knocked Loose. And then I started listening to more metalcore, which was like Wage War, Spiritbox, and other bands like that. And it just started forming, like, I used to love like Halsey and Billie Eilish and all those like type of poppy set, but I also loved the metalcore at the same time, and I wouldn't have gotten that if I wasn't in Calopsia. So then that just like merged together and created Elleinad.
This is influencing,
and that's where you are
you're
now.
creating.
Yeah.
And it's your own stuff with your band.
Yes. Yeah. So that's definitely like detached now, but like, yeah, it's great. I love it.
So do you guys do many shows out, or is there that many places here where
in the beginning of the year we were booked for a good amount of shows. We did a couple with like Stage Mom, we did some up in I think Lake Worth. We've been around Elleinad. Elleinad's more like a newer band too, so like we're still kind of getting going, making sure like we have like the right musicians and the right music, and like we want the full package when they see us, like they get the experience. When I was with Calopsia, we did so many shows. There were like warehouse gigs, there were bars, they would rent out mansions, like it was crazy.
Wow.
I got tackled a lot. I don't know why. I was on stage.
People mean like hardcore, like people bashing and
they were like a mosh pit, and then someone would just go flying into the drum kit, and then they would go flying into me, and I'm like,
Keith used to be a big mosher.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you might have been at one of those shows. You're a big moshing guy.
For years, man.
Yeah. I love it. I like just want to go. No.
Wow.
That's why you're doing it. Let me ask you this. At this point right now, you're writing. So how does it start for the people that are listening? Where would your process be? Let's say, this question gets asked to all artists. Is there just that moment where you hear a melody, and when you're sleeping you hear a melody, you hear a guitar riff? Do you go through some kind of emotion in your life where you want to write down some lyrics and turn that into music? I mean, where does it start? Is there anywhere specific or no?
Yeah, I mean, all of them, but yeah, specifically, it'll be like either like I want to start, I'm like, okay, I want to write a new song. I'll sit down and open up Logic and start messing around with different sounds and like play on the piano, or I think of some words. But a lot of my music is very like experience-based. So it's about like different emotions I've been through life. And like the whole part of like my music is like for people to kind of like relate to it and like have something to go to, like, hey, I'm not the only one going through this. There's like other people out there.
So do you normally start with the track ideas first to create that mood, or do you have a lyric idea first?
I usually have the lyrics first.
Yeah.
The only time I've had like an instrument based like first was Butterfly Wings with like that piano part, and this new song, it was just like a drum fill, and I was like, I love this. I want this like in a song. I want like a pop rock song. And I just like sent the drums to my musicians, and I was like, we're gonna make something out of this. Just give me a second. I'll add some guitars.
Cool.
How cool is that you sit down with your piano and you got Logic, or your guitar, and you just start creating.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people, everybody has their way of doing things. It's crazy, like they just listened to an Eddie Vedder interview, and he just says, well, I was driving down the street and I saw this lady walking down the street pushing a carriage or whatever it was. She had her babies in it. And, the storyline, just a storyline, starts with a storyline.
Yeah.
And then he grabs his acoustic, and how would I want to approach it with an acoustic? It's just crazy the way you start from scratch. That's true creation. It's crazy. How many, I mean, you've been doing it for a while now. So do you have a library of songs?
Yeah, I have a good amount. I should have counted.
You ever try selling them? You ever try Not selling, you know what I'm saying? You try
Yeah.
getting them out
You
there.
just tried placing them?
Yeah, placing
I would
them.
love to. That's actually, I started looking into it more. I was like, I would, like, a couple of the songs, I was like, man, I could have pitched this for, like, maybe, like, a movie or a TV show or something. Like,
Right.
that's kind of, like, for a career path, I would love to start, like, doing production work for, like, movies and TV shows.
Are
and,
you,
like,
going
writing
to
music.
keep learning? I mean, obviously, you work at some of these other venues. So you're just going to keep learning with technology, everything that comes your way, being more creative with all this different technology, because technology is insane right now, correct?
It's never stopping. Like, it's like you think you learned everything, and then they're like, okay, this is the new thing. I'm like, damn it.
Anything you're using with AI in it or anything like that?
Oh, I started seeing that. I haven't messed with AI too much yet. I mean, I've seen it more where like you can split up the tracks and get rid of like vocals from a track or get rid of the drums, so I could use them for like backing tracks if we're doing like a cover. But I haven't dived into it too much, but I know people who have, and they're like, this is insane.
It's kind of crazy.
When you say the AI, you're talking about maybe in vocal sounds? Or
And I mean, you can. There's so many different things I've seen happen, but the vocal thing is crazy.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know.
Yeah, because it's not even the actual singer, right?
No.
Well,
I mean,
if you decide to go that route.
You can sound like Elton John if you want. You know,
I think I don't know.
Well, you know, maybe on a good
You heard
night.
me sing. Listen, everybody, we're going to come right back. We're just going to take just a couple minutes, and we're going to come back with Dani. We're going to talk a little bit more about production, what she has going on today. So stick around. This is Soundcheck, and we'll be right back.
We're right back.
14, I'm too young. 15, 16, I'm in love. Knock on my door, 12 a.m. Now tell me, where's the fucking sun? You brush my hair, I guess it's fair, cause I don't really like to stare, but you're always talking to me. You're always talking to me. You wish I said, I just want you here next to me. You wish I said, I don't care if you leave me bleeding. You wish I said, love the way you rip my heart to pieces. I said, I think I just need to leave. I don't want the love and fantasy, no, I just wanna feel a dream, so hold me and I wish that you could cherish me, but I know that's embarrassing, so no, stitch me to your, stitch me to your, stitch me to your shadow fire. Stitch me to your, stitch me to your, stitch me to your shadow fire.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, I was just about to go into my lyric.
Oh, you had a lyric?
I had a lyric. I had to bring Dani in.
I thought Dani would
I
come
gotta
in
get
with the
another
lyric.
guitar player, man. I
All
gotta
right,
get
here we
another
go.
guitar player.
Dani's going to come in with the lyric. Ready?
Oh, no, I don't have lyrics.
We're just making it up on the spot.
Dani Sinatra, thank you for letting me interview you, girl. Yeah, I like that shit, man. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Sound check with Ridenour and Robinette. Not Randy. This is Keith Ridenour, Jim Robinette, Jason Sedowy, and
Dani
Dani
Sinatra.
Sinatra slash Dani California.
Dani California.
Do you know
Trying
that
to get
song?
over there, yes.
See, she knows
the song.
Yeah.
Dani
I
California.
didn't know it by name, and he's been
How do
giving
you
me
not know
shit.
Dani California?
So anyway, welcome back, and we want to touch on a few other things. First of all, Jason,
Yep,
you got a microphone on?
I do.
How did you meet Dani? Because this is how we got involved, getting her here today to interview. How did you meet her?
I met Dani back, I think it was maybe 2015 or 16.
Wow. How old were you? 12 then?
Yeah. I think it was like 14 or something.
It was at Dogmatic,
Yeah.
and Sunset Rising came in to record. They spent
Where?
at Dogmatic,
That's
Dogmatic Studios.
Studios in Pompano. I was a chief engineer there. I had a contact with Jamie Messelson,
Yeah.
who was kind of coaching the band at that time. So they came in, they spent a day with us, recorded, I don't remember, 4 or 5 songs, I
Yeah.
think.
In one day.
In one
so
day.
they had their shit together. They did some pre-production.
Yeah, well, it was a live recording session. I think we might have overdubbed some vocals, but everyone like played live. They were very well rehearsed.
You playing bass then?
No, I was
She
singing.
was just
okay.
singing.
Yeah.
And that's how we
What
met.
kind, what kind of music was if you were guessing? What would you?
It was all
compare to?
cover songs.
Yeah.
They were
All cover songs?
they were a cover
Like
What
band.
kind of cover songs?
Yeah.
Like pop rock.
Do
What
you
did we
remember what you guys did that day?
Maybe like Sunday morning or something.
Yes. Yeah, and it was like 70s rock.
So don't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's a
Yeah.
while ago. It's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So when you heard them, did you know that there was something a little bit special there? Or were they kind of just, was she super, super green? I mean, let's be honest. Throw it out there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of green.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Let's hear it.
There was a lot of green in the band. I did pretty much instantly recognize Danny's talent.
Okay.
Danny and the bass player were the stand. That was Raphael, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And how did the relationship continue? So you recorded them,
We recorded them.
and then moving on, where does the next time you would have saw her?
Well, as she was saying earlier, Sunset Rising continued to evolve. We worked on another iteration of Sunset Rising, like with the
Yes.
God of War and,
Yes.
and that stuff.
That was the original music.
That was when they
Onstage.
started going to, writing originals. That was it on stage that we started recording. They had somewhat of a new lineup, I think. Yeah, because Jackson was in the band at that time.
Yeah, Jackson joined, yeah.
And I think you had a different drummer. Because the drummer for Sunset Rising was very young. He was like younger than all of you. And he was good, but
Oh my gosh, yeah.
he wasn't quite...
Jonathan joined,
Yeah, he wasn't quite keeping up. Then Jonathan joined. And so
So more recording.
more recording.
Now, how do we get into, let's switch this over to Danny. How did you get involved at Broward and getting into the production business? How did that start? Because here you are creating music, writing, you're playing out gigs, and now you're getting into your late teens. How does it evolve into production working at the center at Broward?
Yeah, well, you should probably start at like maybe Marquee and how...
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
how did that happen?
Yeah.
So actually, he was the reason I got into recording.
Right.
When I went to record that day, he was like he was on the board and it looked like a spaceship. And I was just sitting there like, I want to do that. I don't know what's happening here, but I want to do that.
Wait a second. Are you saying that Jason
He's the
was
reason
an
I'm here right
influence?
now.
Really?
Yes.
There's a song in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear
Wrote
it.
a song.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, who would have thought?
I thought
Who
it was
would've
so
thought?
amazing. Like he was just like so fast at it. I'm like, I want to do this. Like this
And
is
so
so
what happened
cool.
from there?
So from there, Jamie, he and Scotty and Zach bought a studio called Onstage Studios, and they were looking for vocal teachers and stuff. So they actually hired me to go and teach. And I started working there. They started giving me more lessons. I was teaching more instruments. And then one day I was like, I really want to get into the tech side of like studio work. Could I intern here? So after school, I would drive over to Onstage, and they would help, like, teach me how to like build a guitar, fix a speaker amp, or go in the back and like how does the signal routing work for
That's
like
great.
live shows and in the studio. And then I went to Broward College for music technology, which my mom was like, you should do this. This seems really cool. And then COVID hit. And so we're not doing classes in the studio anymore. Like it's very hard to learn online.
Right.
So I had called Jay, and Jay and I had known each other from Onstage because like when I started working there, he was working there too. So we always
So
saw
he was
each other.
engineering
He was engineering while I was teaching.
at Onstage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you were
Okay.
teaching before, to go back a little, when they gave you an opportunity to teach, is that the first time you ever taught?
No, so I taught at my mom's school before.
We didn't get into mom school. I didn't know mom had a
Yeah,
school.
so my mom owned a Montessori school, and I was the choir director there. So I
What
was
school?
Montessori.
A Montessori. So for
Yeah.
people who don't know what that is,
So it kind of teaches you how a bunch of like life skills and how to be independent. And so when you go there to like learn, you can like walk away if you want to like have a snack break. There's a snack section. You go yourself. You set up for lunch. You clean up. You do your own lessons. You have like a checklist and everything. So it kind of teaches you how to be very like independent
Oh, cool.
and like hands-on
kidding.
learning. I started there. It was amazing. My mom's super hardworking woman. She taught me how to be like, take care of myself, be independent, and like, that's how I was able to kind of get through all this at such a young age.
That's great. Absolutely.
wow,
That's
that
great.
is, see? This is why we asked the question.
Yeah, Mom
Good
killed
job,
it.
Mom. Mom's watching. Now, that school still exists or no?
Yeah, so she doesn't own it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That has been passed down to someone else. But she still works as like a teacher, and she used to do like ABA therapy. She works with kids with learning disabilities. So she's always finding like a new way to teach lessons to kids. So it's not like everyone's learning the same lesson.
Right.
So that's how I got into teaching. So the difference with my teaching when I was at Onstage was that every kid wasn't learning the same thing.
Right.
I would kind of take in like, how do you learn? What's easier for you? Are you more visual? Do we need to write this out? Just like hands-on.
So every student that you ran into
It's different.
It's different, yeah.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
experienced that. So you could have a young kid who came in who doesn't know anything. Right from scratch, you're just going to sing some scales, or you'll sing whatever, some kid songs.
Yeah.
And then you'll have someone who'll come in and says, oh, I want to sing like Elleinad, or I want to sing like this girl. Can I just learn those songs? So they all have different approaches.
Yeah, and whatever
That's
made them
great.
like comfortable too. Like I'm not gonna force anything into them. Music theory is really hard to teach kids.
Right.
It's just nothing. It goes over their head. So my way of teaching them was, let's write a song, and how would we use like these little strategies and skills to create a song?
Shit.
Right.
And then I would bring in my Logic, like laptop and like little Focusrite. I'm like, let's record. And then I would record it for them, and they'd have a CD of like their new
See,
song.
this is what makes you more special. I mean, you're already obviously gifted. That right there is the shit. Think what she just said.
Well,
I'm going to bring this kid in. I mean, if you're a music teacher, I've been limited on getting taught how to sing, but that's a great approach.
Yeah.
You're not going to say, well, we're going to learn this, we're going to learn that. Let's write a song. That's
Yeah.
a great start.
It's
like, write a song?
it's
I don't know where I'm going to write a song.
Yeah.
I don't have any ideas. Well, let's start from here.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to lock them in and get them excited.
Oh yeah.
You know, because if they're intimidated whatsoever with trying to learn theory, theory can be a beast, particularly if you don't
scary.
play piano.
Oh yeah. I
remember-
always bring them back to the piano.
I remember when my first music theory course, I had to draw out a piano on the top of my manuscript book because everybody in the class, I was the only one who didn't play piano. So everybody else was getting it. Minor third, major third, and I'm going, what? One of the girls in my class said, draw out the piano on top of the page.
Okay.
So I colored in the black
Yeah.
notes, and then all of a sudden it started to click. So for your students, if they don't play piano,
Yep.
especially if it's just vocals and they're not reading or anything yet, it's brilliant to go ahead, let's work on a song. And then you kind of little by little just show them all the different,
Yeah.
okay, this is your root note. This is what a third is. Let's sing a third so you understand what a third is.
Yeah.
See what I did here? Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Thank you.
Wow,
Absolutely.
that's great. So you went over to Onstage. You started teaching over there, correct? So how did you get your students? Just word of mouth?
Yep. Onstage got me like most of my students. A couple of students I think came from my mom's school. They're like, "Oh, you're over there now. Like, we'll come over here."
And you're still there teaching?
At Onstage, no, I'm not there as a teacher right now. Because I kind of left to be like an engineer.
Oh, okay,
And,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So what she's saying, she went into bigger and better things? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Tired of
if-
getting a cold every other week. No.
So if anybody wanted vocal lessons, I mean, not with you, obviously, you've done other things. What does a vocal lesson cost? Like, is it kind of like a guitar lesson? Is it like $50 a half hour, something like that? Is it a ballpark figure?
Yeah.
$100 an hour? What is it?
Is it
It
like?
depends on
It depends on the place, honestly.
It depends on the place.
Okay, so give me a rough idea.
Like 60 a lesson.
An
Like
hour?
between 60 and 80,
An hour?
I believe
So
so.
it's usually an hour because a half hour you can't get enough done.
Yeah, some kids will do half an hour because
Okay,
they just don't have the
younger
attention
kids, I would
span.
always tell them start with a half hour.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't have enough
Attention span.
to sit there. You know, even when I used to do writing lessons at Marquee, if they were like 13, okay, but got to be a half hour. But I mean, I have people now, they'll only do 2 hours because they know an hour is not long enough.
Exactly.
And it's not even a lesson so much as it's a lesson, but we're writing a song. We're gonna,
more involved.
it's everything in one shot. But you know, it also depends if you were teaching again, just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
If you go to a facility normally, and rightfully so. They have overhead. Half of it's going to the facility, half is going to Dani,
Yeah.
or me, or Johnny, or Joey, or Susie.
Right.
I know a lot of people that teach out of their home now. Some people are not comfortable with it.
That I used to do that when
so-
COVID hit.
I
yeah.
mean, when you're a certain age, it's totally comfortable, But if you're getting $70 at a facility or 60 or whatever it is, doesn't matter, and you're splitting it, you can go to your house and charge
Not split anything.
50 and
Keep the money.
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Right.
I do it at the
That's great.
house. I
So
only
you're
charge.
cutting out the middleman, damn it.
Yeah.
Well, I used to charge more for writing, and I was just like,
So when you were at on stage, let's move on. Let's get this thing going. So on stage, and then you wanted to get into engineering.
Yeah.
You also saw Jason in there. You were interning, right?
Yes.
You were interning there as an engineer as well.
At onstage?
Yeah, at onstage.
So I was interning more with Scotty, so he was more like teaching me how to fix guitars and like instruments.
No kidding.
and
So
stuff.
you weren't just an engineer. You got your hands in all this
Yeah, I
shit.
tried to get into any place I could just to get as much like
on stage,
information.
we should have Scott here. Make a note of that.
Oh,
Right?
I want him as a guest. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
So
yeah.
I've known Scott for I don't know 10 years plus. I
Let's
don't
go.
know
So many
him that well,
stories.
but I used to book his band because I'm an entertainment agent, which I'm sure you don't know, but it doesn't matter. I booked him at several different acts that he's had in the past. But anyway, so he does guitar repair there, speaker repair.
Yeah.
He does he do woodwinds, brass, and all that shit?
Yeah, I think he does all of it.
Really?
Yeah, I
No
always see him like
kidding.
bring in like flutes and like
wow,
That's
that's
crazy.
great. I didn't know that.
violins.
You
Yeah.
ever been there?
I have not been.
Well,
in-
well,
It's
we'll
so
go.
cute. It's like a little like
Yeah.
No, it's
studio.
good. It's pretty cool. It's really clean, kind of like a mixture of the two studios that you had.
Mhm.
Kind of
Yeah.
clean, real nice and compact. The rooms are decent size. They have a big showroom in the back.
Yeah.
They
one's
got
nice.
guitars hanging, good energy when you walk in the door. You know where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
It's right on
Clintmore.
Clintmore.
Yeah, Clintmore
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your next? How did the transition go from on stage? So you went and got educated. You went to Broward
College.
College.
Yeah.
Where's that located? I mean, obviously
That's-
Broward, but where's Broward?
That was in Davie. That was the Davie one. So that should be Central Campus, I believe.
Yeah, kind of like Nova.
Yeah, near Nova.
Because there was there was a
Yeah.
campus in Coconut Creek area
There
too,
is,
right? Okay.
but their main studio
Ga-
one was in Central
gotcha.
And
Campus.
how long
so I
was
had
that
to try
process?
it.
Was that like a 9-month program?
That was
A
2 years.
So 2 years.
Yeah.
So when you were in there, you're learning all this music technology.
Mhm.
What's a synopsis or a summary of like what do they teach you? Recording,
It's-
engineering.
Yeah, so they do recording. You have to do 2 classes of theory and production. You do live sound. You do what else? Like post-production work. And then towards the end, they're like, you need to have an internship and you need to do like a master like class of like a final
Right,
project of getting people in. That was really funny because I had a band to like record for my
So
final project.
you were the band.
I had to become the band because the other band left.
Ah.
So that's where like we recorded this. I was kind of like, a little petty because like the professor was like giving me so many critiques on like the production work, even though it was like a recording class. So he's like, you should change the guitars here, you should do the piano here and all this stuff. And he's like, it sounds like Chinese water torture. And I was like,
Whoa.
Okay.
Teach. Hey, buddy.
so I went home and I set up a little condenser mic and I recorded little water droplets. And then I copy and pasted them on every bar throughout the whole 4-minute song and then hid the track. So you just heard like water droplets, but couldn't find it.
That's good.
And I was
Teacher
just sitting
heard
there
that
as he's like
now.
listening to it. I'm like,
And what did he say?
he's like, where's that water coming from? I'm like,
So you graduated there,
yeah.
and then
You worked at Marquis, right?
So I got the Marquis internship in the middle of going to Broward College. So when COVID hit, I was like, I don't want to just be home. And then I contacted Jason and he was like, you should call Marco. He does an internship at Marquis. And I was like, okay, so you got our numbers together. And then I like showed up like that day and like they sat me down. I was there until like 2 a.m. like recording like the singer-songwriter and like it was amazing from there. I
how
learned
long ago
so
was that?
much.
That was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be like 3 years.
Yeah, your internship was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah. Because
So
I started
now-
when I was like
so
17,
when
18.
do we start getting paid? Let's get some money.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, when could we, like, have you, now you work for the center, right? How'd you get the job at the center, by the way?
So Broward Center, I had met Matt. He worked as an intern at Marquee, and then he got the job at Broward Center. And I was looking for like a new job. I was actually going to work in Orlando at this other venue called the Plaza, and I used to like just drive the 3-hour drive to go work like a 16-hour shift and then drive home or stay in a hotel and like Febreze my uniform because they wouldn't give me extra shirts.
That's good. That's good.
That's rock and roll.
That's rock and roll.
That's metal all day.
Rock and roll.
That's hardcore. To drive up there, 16-hour shift, Febreze the shirt, go to the next shift.
I'm ready to rock.
Rock and roll.
That a girl.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't do this. It's too much on the gas. And I'm only getting like 18 an hour from this. But it was so new because I'm not used to live sound. Right. But they were training me to be like a monitor engineer or something. And it was a lot. But like, again, the drive, I couldn't find a place to stay up there and stuff. So Matt was like, come work for the Broward Center. They do something similar. And I was like, do you think like I have like qualifications? He's like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. And so he put in a word for me. And so when I put the application in, they took me in.
How long ago was that?
That's got to be like 2 years ago now.
Wow.
So 2 years you're over there.
Yeah, I started at the Parker, and then he was like, you should check out Aventura. So Broward Center owns 4 venues. It's the Broward Center, Parker, Aventura, and now Mitniachi from NSU. And so when I went over to Aventura, it was just like a family. Like once I got over there, they like took me and they're like, we're gonna teach you everything.
That's great.
And I'm part of their house crew over there now. I drive the hour drive. I don't care because like it's such a great experience.
Hour from where you live to Parker to Parker or Aventura?
To Aventura.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Coconut
Is
Creek
it a
to
full-time
Aventura.
gig or do they just call you? I mean, how does it work?
Yeah, so it's kind of like they'll send you a bunch of dates ahead of time, and then you confirm the dates if you want to work them. So it's
you might
technically
work one
part-time.
show that week.
Yeah.
You might work 3 shows that week.
Yeah, when it's in season, we're there like all week, and like the hours are long.
Just like you are.
Right.
You guys have worked together?
All the time.
Oh, all the time. We're the
Same
dream
gig.
team, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
We got
So
it.
you may be doing monitors or lighting. You may be doing house or some kind of production. You're always doing production. You ever do house or no? Did they let you do house or there's always the same guy for front of house?
Yeah, they switch all the positions. So
they
when
do.
I started there,
That's nice.
Yeah, they put me on spotlight a lot. But then when they started training me in audio, I got to do front of house. Front of house and monitor world at Aventura are at the same spot right now. They're getting a new board. But I got to A1 a lot. They let me A1 like a Frank Sinatra tribute show, which was hilarious. And everyone was yelling at me because I wouldn't tell them what my last name was. They're like, you have to tell them. And I'm like, no.
Well, tell our viewers where that connection comes from.
So that comes from my dad's side of the family.
Right.
Very, very distant. Very distant. No royalty check, sadly. But
No, but I'm just saying, that's your dad's last name.
Yeah.
And your dad's last name, and so on and so on. And when you're growing up, you don't hear little comments, or probably most of the kids or your generation maybe don't even know that name.
Yeah, no, a lot of people know the name. I always get comments
People,
and stuff.
but
It's
not,
hilarious.
okay, right, I got you.
Yeah, but it never goes any farther than that. Just like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, really?
Did you ever meet him?
No, I think he died before I was
before
born.
he was truly born.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
true.
before I was thought of.
So now, what? Let's tell the folks before we close the show here on what you're doing today. So we know that the band is kicking right now.
Band is kicking.
You're kicking ass right now. You're trying to get into this thing in LA. Are you guys going to be playing out live in the next few weeks? Anything live at all lined up?
Not right now. Not until
Do you
August
want
10th.
something to be?
I would love to.
So you'd like to have a show?
Yeah.
Okay.
What could you guys cover? 45 minutes of kick ass?
Yeah.
An hour, 45 minutes, whatever it may be?
Yeah, like 45
Are you guys
hours.
plug and play, ready to roll, or pretty much? So do you guys rehearse?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys rehearse. So if there's anyone out there, any of the venues, anybody that watches a show, because I might be able to help as well. Maybe we
thank you.
never know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for sure.
But somehow or another.
Maybe opening up for an event, like
open up for an event. Yeah,
charity
That'd be
event or
amazing.
something like that.
anything. Like there's all kinds of opportunities, but people want to know. So now they're going to know.
Yeah.
So for
We're
all
ready to
your
go.
people
ready to
that
rock.
you know, and for all your social media, make sure that they go and they either leave a comment if you want to see her band or have her perform at any event, what it may be, because when you're original band, you're coming up and you want to get your music out there, you're willing to make sacrifices and just do it. So right now you're working, what is the company called? The company that you work for?
Broward Center Performing Arts.
Okay, so that's the title of all the ones that they own pretty much.
Yeah.
And so you're working for them right now. You're crushing 2 years in.
Yep.
So then probably starting like October, November, get into season, you'll be doing back to 5-6 nights a week or more.
Yeah.
Same schedule as he has pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's nice having that type of schedule because then you can kind of say, like, if I did have like a very important show, I could just be like, hey, I can't come in. Can we get someone to come in and fill in for me?
Right.
So
Do you have any
it
other
kind of
gigs
works
that you
with
do?
my schedule too. I'm
Do you have
sorry?
any other gigs that you do? Are you flipping burgers? Are you working fast food? Are you delivering Uber Eats? Anything to bring in other monies?
Yes, I am at Marquee. I am an engineer and I'm teaching technology classes over there. I'm at On Stage for whatever they need from me. And then
So
I do production work
you're always
online.
available. The phone rings. Yes, I could do it. You check your schedule. You go make
Ready
money.
to go.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic.
Good.
Yep.
Well, that
great.
is awesome. And you got anything else to add before we close the show, Keith?
I wish we were set up. We could have actually played a song live with you.
Oh yeah, next time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can
I'm
you give me
excited.
just a little bit of something while I take us out?
Yeah,
Please, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's be darker.
I gotta tell
Sorry.
We have tons of guests on here over the last 6 months. Sometimes things just go super smooth. You get the information. It's easy on the ear, and you find out a story about someone. This has been awesome. I had no idea, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I prepped a little bit, but I got other things going on. The truth of the matter is, she's amazing. You hear the story, you never know. She just starts playing, picks up the bass, picks up the guitar, picks up the flute, picks up all these instruments. Her mom is getting her a big influence in her life. You see the way the story rolls. Now what is she doing? She's writing her own music. She's got a great rock and roll band. They're out kicking ass. She's working at Performing Arts Center. And what an amazing story. This is what this podcast is about, telling people's story and the life of music here in South Florida. So,
Yeah.
Dani Sinatra on Sound Check with Ridenour and Robinette. Let's get a round of applause.
Yeah.
Dani, you're a great guest. And
thank
we
you
wish
for
you the
having
best
me.
of luck in your future.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.